Welcome to Captured Conversations, a Haley Phillips photography podcast. I am your host, Haley, and this is your co host, Apollo. Maybe he'll stay around. Yeah, you want to say something? Thank you. Do you want a kiss? Ah, thank you. Very kind. Um, he loves kisses. Maybe he'll stick around for more of this episode than he did last episode. How you feeling? How you feeling today, Apollo? You a good boy? If you are new to our podcast, sorry, let me get right into it. If you're new to our podcast, so are we. This is our second episode. Yeah, is it? What are you looking at? It's kind of freaky. Anyways, um, this is a new business venture for us, or really just venture. I wouldn't even say it's a business venture. I mean, obviously it's linked to my photography, but this is just something I've always wanted to do, and I am so happy to actually be doing it. Um, Here we talk about photography stuff. We share photography stories. I share some of mine. Okay, hey buddy, please don't. Please don't do that right now. Just not right now. Yeah, you're okay. Sorry. Um, we'll share some photographer stories, some wedding stuff, some just regular photography stories. I want to share brides and grooms stories. I don't want to just talk about weddings though. I want to talk about photography in general. Um, I share some of my stories. I'm getting a lot of stories off Reddit right now, but if you have a story you would like me to read or, talk to you about, totally share it with me. Um, but yeah, without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Okay, sorry. I was having a hard time with that. Are you leaving? Oh wait, no, he's staying. Good boy. Okay. So, also, just like I said this last episode, but I'm saying it again this episode, ignore my black wire, ignore my extension cord. You're in my living room, so there's functional things for my home in here. So, ignore those. Um, but anyways, yeah, let's get it started. Okay, so I want to start. I've got a few things pulled up. I want to start with a few wedding stories. This is from r/ask Reddit. This was posted 9 years ago, so it might be older, but I feel like I would just really love to hear these wedding stories. So, these are not just photographer stories. These might be people who attended a wedding, their weddings, other vendors, just anything wedding related. What's your best horror story? So, let's see. There was one that I had picked out. Um, okay, so this one is from 123 Captain Nick. I'm actually a wedding DJ. I once attended a wedding in which the groom failed to attend. It was a total disaster. The bride looked like she could have been just 18. Absolutely adorably cute. She just sat out in the hallway crying with her parents while her friends and family moved from the ceremony hall to the reception area for dinner and drinks. Weirdly enough, the groom showed up later in the evening after the minister had already gone home. We had their formal dances on that day, but they didn't actually get married. What a red flag. Um, yeah, that's something. I would, I don't know how I feel about this. And I'm not even so much about them getting married at young, at 18. If that's what they want to do, that's one, super popular in a lot of cultures and religions, so I'm not going to judge that. Um, that's if he is around the same age as her or the same age as her, if he's 19, 20, around there. Now if he's much older, then we've got a totally different problem. About how long they've been dating, is there grooming, all that, but that is not, they did not say that, so I'm not going to go there. um yeah, what was going on? Did he have second, was he second guessing, was he not actually wanting to commit but didn't want to lose her? Yeah, I have a lot of questions. um let's see if he said anything else. Yes, he did. Okay, I'll never know for certain, but after their formal dances, the bride left. The groom, on the other hand, stayed around and drank himself silly with a few of his goofy friends, got a little belligerent with the manager at one point. I can only hypothesize that he changed his mind about getting married, changed it back again, and then realized he was crap out of luck. So, yeah, that's crazy. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, this is from Scrappy Larue, Larue, Lure. Anyways, a horror story with a happy ending. Okay, I'm here for it. Friends had a small wedding with the reception in a private area of a restaurant with about 30 people. After the meal, our server came through the doors with a three-tier wedding cake in her arms. Oh no, I feel like I know where this is going. After the meal, our server. Oh, sorry. When she got front and center, she slipped and hit the floor like a rock, face first into the cake. The initial laughter stopped quickly when it seemed like she might be hurt because she wasn't moving. She got up with help, obviously sore, and crying as hard as I've ever seen, hysterically apologizing over and over. Fast forward a couple of hours, and thankfully she was physically okay, but even better, she was serving the New Yorkers money with money who felt terrible for her and were now drunk. I don't know what the hosting couple tipped her, but I'm certain she picked up another $5,000 from guests on the side. I threw her 100, and I'm cheap. She was crying again when we left, but for an entirely different reason. Whoa. Okay, that ending is so sweet. Let's just have faith in humanity for 2 seconds. Let's take a moment. Have faith in humanity. Okay, before we get delirious, let's come back to reality. Moments like this exist. That's an amazing way. You know, everyone did laugh at her at first. That sucks, but I could see like something shocking happens, and it's almost like a comedy thing, like slipping on a banana peel. I couldn't imagine being her. Oh my gosh, that would be horrible. I would be crying all over the place. I don't know what I would do. I feel like if I was hurt, I couldn't have stayed. I would have had to like leave. But maybe that wasn't an option. Maybe she was like the only one handling like her job. I don't know. But wow. I mean, I guess it paid off. I mean, extra $5,000 in tips, like ye doggy, like abso-freaking-lutely. That is crazy. I've never had anything like that happen. I've never, knock on wood, you know, I don't have any wood within arm's reach, but knock on it for me. I've never had any like big oopsie doopsie at a wedding. I mean, little things happen, of course. They're always going to happen. Um, but never really any oopsie doopsie. I guess I can think of kind of one photography oopsie doopsie, but it wasn't me. It was actually the people I was shooting with. So I once shot a wedding. It was in July in Tennessee. So the worst time of the year. It was so hot. It was like 98 degrees. Humidity was like through the roof. I think like it said it felt like 112 outside. This wedding was outside. There was an inside area that was very like air conditioned. Well, very there. The AC actually went out this day, but I think they got it fixed. The getting ready suite was so hot. And this was a huge room too. So, yeah, that was kind of nightmarish. But where was I going? What were we talking about? Oh yeah. Sorry, I just like lost my marbles for a second. So we were in and out from outside. We took breaks just as the day naturally flows, but also because it was so hot. Like usually we go first look and then some couples portraits. I think like we took a break in between there to go in, get some AC. Luckily the ceremony, it was like sunset time ceremony, which was like great. I feel like I never shoot a sunset ceremony. So I was all about that. Um, it was shaded. It felt pretty good. But as we were taking pictures that day, the photographer I was shooting with and the two videographers, they were all using mirrorless cameras, and their cameras overheat and shut off. My Nikon D750 and 610 DSLRs were the only ones that did not shut off. So if you're thinking about going mirrorless, maybe consider that as a reason to like keep your old camera. That was terrifying to me. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, worst comes to worst, I have two cameras. I'd have given one to the lead photographer. I would have had one. I have no answer for video. I'm sorry. Luckily they did all come back on and there wasn't any moments missed. I think some were delayed, but nothing was missed. But yeah, not a situation I ever thought about, but like we see it happen on our phones all the time. If you've ever been by a pool or at the beach and forget to cover your phone's gonna overheat and feel like it's about to melt into the floor. So yeah, that was crazy. Also, I forgot at the beginning of this episode to mention that like this is a casual podcast. Like I just want to talk, but also I'm like wearing leggings, wearing my what is this? Give thanks t-shirt. You know, just kind of vibing out, chilling. Like I said, we're in my living room. I've got my happily ever after blanket. Yeah. But anyways, let's go on to another story. Also, goodbye Apollo. Also, if you can see, I apologize. As you know, because you just saw him, I have a husky, and they leave behind dog hair. So, and this is a navy blue couch. So if you can see his fur, I apologize, and I'm hung on something. Hold on. Un moment. Okay, I'm good. Cords everywhere. Okay, let's go on to the next story. Let's see here. This just happened at a wedding I was at with the bride and I was at with the bride and groom's dinner. Lobster tails and steak went flying into the air while 200 people just sat there dead silent. A short pause, then practically everyone attempted to get up and help the poor woman. She was mortified. The bride kept giving her hugs all night long. The meals were at least able to be replaced quickly, but everyone in the room tipped her big anyways. That's awesome. And also, let's pause for a second. Have you ever been to a wedding that, like, you tipped waiters? I've never seen that. Most of the weddings I go to are buffet style. I don't know if that's popular everywhere. Here in the South, it is very popular. I can probably, I've probably been to two, maybe three weddings where there were waiters. And it was something we were asked on our wedding day, like, do we want waiters? And I was like, no, I want a buffet. Being at so many weddings, I just want a buffet. People can go through, get what they want. I'm also a picky eater, so it's helpful for me when I can be like, oh, I don't like that, but I'll get extra this side, you know. But yeah, I've never been to a wedding where there was tipping of waiters, but it sounds like maybe this is very common in some places. I mean, one of these mentioned like she was serving New Yorkers, so maybe upstate. That's a little more popular. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, this is from Sir Beast. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention who the last one was from. The last one was from. Yes, this is a throwaway. Right to the point. This one is from Sir Beast. On the day of our wedding, so it sounds like it's a bridegroom story, it was discovered that the venue had booked two outdoor weddings at the same time. Ours at another, ours and another in a gazebo that's not very far from ours. Somehow the father of the bride, I'm sorry if you just saw that hair fly around. This is my husky right here, if you can see that. Right, there we go. That's him, right there. Go away. I will vacuum you up later. Please leave. Okay, bye. It's gonna sit there apparently. That's Apollo instead of the dog who keeps leaving me. You know, he usually sits on the couch for like ever, but not today. Not today. Okay, anyways, so somehow the father of the bride in the other wedding found out about our processions that our processions were going to be at the same time. He also found out that our procession included a bagpiper, as myself and the groom in all kilts, so I'm assuming it's like a Scottish wedding, while his daughter's wedding was going to have a harpist. Yeah, that's not going to vibe. He approached me very quickly and asked me if we could consider delaying our procession for about 20 minutes so our bagpipers would not drown their harpist. After conferring with my soon-to-be wife, we agreed that a 20-minute delay was no big deal for us. Unfortunately, the father of the bride should have taken some other factors into consideration and instead delayed his daughter. Taken some other factors into consideration and instead delayed his daughter's wedding because the procession went off without a hitch and everyone in their wedding heard a beautiful harpist, but the vows were pretty much inaudible because once our bagpipers started at the requested 20 minutes later. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Okay. I found out later that day because apparently one of my cousins attending my wedding had a friend that was attending the other wedding. Seriously, it was, dearly beloved, we gather here today, cue bagpipes, until our procession was over. Oh, so the bagpipes played the whole time. Wow. I hope the other wedding party was able to get some sort of compensation for the venue for their oversight since they had been informed Since they had been informed of the musicians at each wedding, it didn't bother either informing party. On top of that, our DJ burned a CD with our chosen husband and wife song on it and didn't bother checking it before the reception. The song would not play because the CD somehow did not burn right, and we had to pick another song to dance to on the fly. We got a nice discount from the DJ company for that one. Yeah, okay, so DJs. So needed. Okay, I'm gonna put the computer down for this one. So DJs are so needed. I love having a real DJ at a wedding, but the cue is a real DJ. So I have had so many weddings where the hiccups are the DJ or the coordinator. Everybody else pretty much. I mean, I've had caterers not being there and videographers doing weird things, but DJs and coordinators are like consistently. And honestly, I'm probably more scared of DJs than I am coordinators because I feel like I can fix a coordinator's problem. I can't fix a DJ's problem. I have thought about having a backup plan. Actually, I even take that back. I kind of have. But so yeah, DJs scare me. I often tell my brides when picking a DJ, you need to talk to them about what their plans are to have the songs not available online. Obviously, this story was when we were still using CDs for a lot of music, and that's just not today's era. We're using things that require Wi Fi. And a lot of venues, at least where we live, we've got the boondocks out here. We've got, countryside where Wi Fi and signal. I mean, a lot of weddings I go to, I don't have service. Like, it's just not a thing. Or the Wi Fi sucks and it's not even worth getting on. And so that can cause a problem for DJs. Or they don't have like backup cords. I shot one wedding where the cord went out. He luckily had his own personal cord in the car that he could use. And poor man was freaking out. I really do feel bad for him. But I've shot many weddings where the music was cutting in and out because there just wasn't good reception. It would like stop and start, stop and start, stop and start. Like while the bride's coming down the aisle during the first dance, like important moments. Or the music basically just got shut off and it didn't happen because they were unprepared. And so that really stresses me out. I'll have to tell one more DJ story. So I was at a wedding, I don't know, a couple years ago, probably a year ago. And it was the reception. This was a small wedding. There really weren't that many people there. I mean, maybe 50 people, something like that. And the DJ got drunk as a skunk. And he was like not playing good music. He was not doing his job at all. I think he was very much like a Spotify DJ. I didn't even see a setup. But anyways, eventually the maid of honor plugs her phone into his speaker and she DJs instead. And I really hope they got some compensation for that because I would be livid. So livid. But yeah, what scares you more? Or maybe neither. Or if you're one of these, obviously I have a DJ I love. I have a coordinator I love. I have several coordinators I love, actually. I have two DJs and two coordinators that I love. Nobody else I can vouch for. But which one are you more afraid of? To me, it's a DJ. It's so a DJ. Or people who think they're DJs. I'm sorry, but this is so important to a wedding day. We need to take it seriously. All right, let's see what else Reddit has for us today. Oh, sorry, you probably just heard me punch my mic. There's a dog fur floating around me. Every time Apollo moves, I feel like he sends fur into the wind. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one's by A_Sheila. Cousin's April's 1992 wedding. So it's her cousin's April wedding in 1992. Sorry. Cousin April's 1992 wedding was ours. I'm not understanding that. But anyways, here are some things that happened to... I'm sorry, I read the first line. Okay. In no particular order, here are some things that happened. The groom got frisky, very intimately frisky, with a stripper at his bachelor party the night before. Like, all the way frisky. Dude, I lost my crap. If my husband had done something like that, which he would never do, that's cheating. Why is it... I don't understand that whole thing. Like, you see it. It's like such a pop culture thing. Like, oh, it's your last night of freedom? Okay, well, all the years you were dating, you weren't free. It wouldn't have been okay for you to cheat all that time. Why the night before the wedding is it somehow suddenly okay? Like, to me, you're not any more tied down while you're dating than when you're married. You're just committing to that commitment forever. Versus when you're dating, it's more like until we decide we're not anymore. Until question mark future. Where wedding, it's like infinity sign. Anyways, that's insane. Next bullet point was super proud they were getting married at a chapel at a wedding chapel John Wayne Bobbitt was working at. Oh, I want to confirm this individual. Yeah, okay. This is the whole Bobbitt story. Do you know the story of the Bobbitts? Um, so I'm gonna let you look that one up on your own. There are some very interesting individuals. Um, I did not know he worked at a wedding chapel, though. Okay, that's interesting. I can't confirm that. The bride and groom snort coke in their limo on the way to their reception. Wow, okay. Bride and groom continued to snort coke in the bathroom on the way to their reception. Oh, sorry if you heard my ice maker. Um, it wasn't making ice the other day, so I'm actually kind of glad to hear it's making ice. All relatives get blind drunk, including my husband's grandparents. We were the only sober ones. Oh, drunk grandparents. Okay, I've seen like alcoholic grandparents who like are just belligerent and drunk, but not like fun drunk grandparents. I wonder if they were fun drunk grandparents. Do you have fun drunk grandparents? Tell me. My I've never seen a grandparent in my family drunk. So I can't confirm, or I have and didn't. If I did, if I had, I didn't know it. I would have been really little. Cousin Lori wants to dance to I Wanna Fuck. Oh, sorry. That's a bad word. My bad. I want to F you like an animal with my husband, who happens to be one of her first cousins. Some sweet home Alabama stuff right there. Absolutely not. Um, one of the relatives made off with all the table decorations. It's like at the end of the night, it turns into a yard sale. Everything must go. Honestly, that's not a horrible idea. I think we might be onto something there. All kids under 10 years old smearing wedding cake and food all over each other. I think we need some parental units on this one. That's a no-go. That kid would not be riding home with me. Absolutely not. Groom slash bride returned to her mother's house with the rest of the family. All they cared about was opening envelopes for money. They gave a little. They gave crap less about anything else. Okay. Amazingly, marriage lasted for 10 years. I guess cousin April got tired of her husband not coming home at night because he was too tired to drive home, in quotations. Oh, yeah, and she's a teacher to elementary school teacher, to elementary school children. And she's doing cocaine all day. Okay, that feels reportable. That's kind of crazy. That was kind of like the topper on top of the cake. Oh yeah, she's a teacher. I would not want her as a teacher. I mean, maybe she's a great teacher. I don't know, but like if she was teaching my children and I found out about that, I would probably be a little hesitant because drugs, cocaine. And I would imagine this is something they do. I feel like you don't try something like that for the first time on your wedding day. That's a little brave of a move there. All right. I pulled up something else. So I want to switch. I want to switch Reddit threads. I want to switch topics. This next thread I'm looking at is from r/photography. This thread is from 10 months ago. What is the hardest part about making money as a photographer? I love wedding photography, and I want nothing more than to become a full-time photographer. Sorry, I read that wrong. I love photography. Doesn't say anything about weddings. I love photography. I want nothing more than become a full-time photographer, but I don't even know how to start or what questions to ask. I could really use the help. Okay, and this is from alternative-web 8914. So let's just go into the comments, and I might share some. We'll see. I probably will. Okay, let's see. From AV4 Rice, I'd say fundamentally the hardest part is finding unmet market demand. Absolutely. As much as you might want to get paid for taking photos, there aren't that many people out there who want to pay money for photos. I kind of disagree. Um, I think there's a lot of people who want to pay money. I think it's about finding your niche. How can you be different? How are you different from the other photographers they could hire? Why would they choose you over somebody else? Do you offer different packages? Is your pricing structure different? Do you offer smaller packages for people on budgets? Do you offer a diverse number of packages? Are you someone that's like only doing like such a fine niche that there's not a big market for it? Um, and even if you are, sorry, doing a market where there is a lot of clientele for it, is there a lot of clientele in your area? And also, how are you meeting your clientele? How would they find out about you? And that's like a whole other marketing thing. I wouldn't say that there's not a lot of people who would pay money for photos. I think there are. It's about how to find them, and how do you set yourself apart as differently from everybody else. All right, let's see. Let's go to the next thread. Um, okay, this is funny. This is from Kyle Clements. Making money as a photographer is fairly easy. Just sell your camera gear. That's kind of funny. Um, that's pretty funny. No, let's not do that. You can do it. You can do it. And I am not a full time photographer. I'm also a mental health counselor. And so that is a really good balance for me. I basically have two part time jobs. Sometimes it's a full time job that I have. Sometimes it's two full time jobs because both of those are clientele based. Um, I say that I was blessed to have two passions in life. So, and I love what I do. I don't think I'd want to solely do either one of them because I am a someone that wants to move around and do so many different things, and I love connecting with people. Even if you hear me say I don't like people, I do. I'm just a liar to myself. Let's see. From Born to Droll, ratting out your unlicensed drone pilot friends to the FAA for reward money. What is this even referring to? Oh, how to make money. I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, that would make you money. It may not make you very popular, but you do you if you feel like that's something you need to do. Okay, from Moforzd, Moforzd. The business side, the business side. A lot of photographers are so full of themselves. You're providing a service, not your art. Pay your dues, then you can pay your dues, then you can sell your name as a part of the service. Having said that, I started in 2017. I can't imagine doing this now with the overstimulated market and cheap competition. I think the I go back and forth on this. The cheap competition, yes, it does hurt us. I think it gives us a bad name. I think people will go there, and if they're happy with that, that's fine. Um, but um, if you're providing a service that is worth the money, your service is going to stand out more than the cheap photographers. Um, when I first started out, I was very cheap. I remember I did my first like hour session for $75 for my cousin. That's an outlandish price to do today. I couldn't imagine. No, I do for very close family. I've been known to cut a deal. But $75 for like, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am so awesome. I remember being paid like $50 to go to an event for like 4 hours and deliver the pictures, and they were unhappy with them. They were like, I had some unhappy people in the very early days, and I think as a photographer, you will find that there's a sweet spot between charging enough so that people who would take advantage of you are not interested, but not charging so much that it's like too much for the market you're going after. So it's a balancing game that you'll have to find. I think there is photography that is art, but I think for the most part, I mean, people, yes, are paying for your art because your photography is an art, but it's also a service. So, like, that, I think it's the same thing like wedding painters. Their service is an art. So I'd be hesitant to say, like, you're providing a service, not an art. I don't really vibe with that. All right, let's see. Okay, from Issa Fly, ISSA Fly. You don't mention what kind of photography you do. If you're doing portrait photography, try to drum up business with families you know. Graduations, proms, school related photos. 100% recommend. There's money in wedding photography, but there's also a lot of work. 100%. And you've really got to be on your game to compete with other photographers who are already established in your area. You're also going to need some quality gear, which takes a lot of time and investment on the front end. A basic consumer body with a lens cam won't cut it. Yeah, no, if you're doing weddings, you need full frame, dual SD, or dual storage, whatever you have. 100%. Don't cheap out. That doesn't mean you need to spend a bajillion dollars, but get good, reliable gear 1000%. And I could make a whole podcast just on that. And if you're interested in that, let me know. I haven't mentioned, this is continuing on the same thread, I haven't mentioned pet photography, commercial product, food photography, real estate photography, fashion photography, and probably a few more full-time gigs that I'm forgetting. But each of those has their own pros and cons. Bottom line, pick a field to specialize in, study your local market, and bust your rear end making a name for yourself. Oh, I almost forgot landscape photography, but that one's actually easy. To be successful as a landscape photographer, you also need to, all you need to have is a popular YouTube channel. That's interesting. I've never heard that before. Um, so, yeah. I want to highlight on the bottom line, pick a field you're in, local market. Yes. I will say I'm not someone to incredibly niche myself. Hold on one second. Also, I didn't show my cup last episode. This is one of the cups I have. This is my something blue cup. I got this for my wedding, and then we also have an I do one that matches. These are Ray Dunn. Yeah, these are Ray Dunn cups. I feel like it just like fit the vibe of the podcast, so I wanted to use it. All right, kind of spilled some water on myself. Anyways, what am I highlighting? Okay, so about niches. So I call myself a wedding and engagement photographer, but I do everything. I've actually done newborn pictures before, but I don't specialize. I don't do that anymore. Like I used to the whole 9 yards studios wrapping babies. I don't do that anymore. I will do like family newborn sessions. I like the more lifestyle side of that. I do seniors. Like if we even just go on my website right now, I'm actually going to show y'all this if y'all will be able to see it actually. So I'm going to turn my screen around. You're going to see my, okay, yeah, you should be able to see that. Okay. So if we even go like on my website, make sure this is in frame. Yep. Okay. So if we go on my website, if we go to my packages, you can see engagements and couples, weddings, destination weddings, graduates, maternity, families, other sessions, and actually want to add a tab for newborn family sessions too, that kind of niche in there. I specialize in engagements and weddings, but I do all these other things too. Because to me, that's a part of being an engagement and wedding photographer. Because often, or not often, but I have had it happen, and I am so thankful for those of you who have supported me in this way. Um, I find a couple, I do their engagement pictures, I do their weddings, they have a baby, I do some family pictures for them when they have the baby. Their cousin is graduating, I do some graduation pictures for them. When they're pregnant, I do their maternity, family, all the things. Those clients are my heart and soul. And I love growing with people. I love getting to know people. And so I want to be able to provide that service. So you don't have to say, like, I am a senior photographer and only do that. Can you do that? Yes, absolutely. But do you have to? No. Just make sure you are good at your craft. I love couples. I love weddings. That's, if I, in like a perfect world, if I was like booked up with weddings and engagements, I probably wouldn't say no to other gigs, but it would be something I'd be like advertising. But I say that, but I know I do like following my couples through their life. I want to be there for all of their moments, and to get to know their families. I've got one couple. I met them in 2020. I did some family pictures for them. Her boyfriend at the time, her child, and then her sister and her mom and her dad. We did pictures, and then they got engaged, so I did their engagement pictures, and then they had their wedding, and I did their wedding pictures, and then they got pregnant, and I did their maternity pictures. Then when the baby was born, I did some family newborn sessions, and then I also did their pregnancy announcement. I did their maternity, newborn, And then I've done some family photos a couple times, something like that, along the way with their boys. And then they're about to have another baby. So I just did some maternity pictures for them again. I'm going to be going to the hospital to do some pictures when the baby is born. Afterwards, we're going to be doing some family pictures. Like, I love that. I love that. And I know you're probably thinking, of course you do. It's consistent money. Of course, that's nice in a business. But I genuinely have loved getting to know this couple. And if you are this couple, hey, how's it going? Thank you for all you do, because it genuinely means so much to me. And I have absolutely loved getting to know every part of, not every part of your life, but getting to know you and being here for your big milestones and even hearing about your struggles. You know, I just thank you. But yeah, I'm so I'm so against just niche. If you have a niche and you love it and you just want to go for that, go for it. But if you like other things, I'm hesitant to say don't go for it. That's my story. But again, I'm not a full-time wedding photographer. So maybe I'm not the best advice, but that's me. And I'm happy with where I'm at. Okay. Let's see. Let's do one more and then I think we're going to wrap it up for today. So let's see. Okay, so stateless underscore state underscore says making money at photography is based on who you know. I'm hesitant to say that, but I guess not at the same time. If you don't know anyone, you won't make any money, even if you're good. If you know the right people or a lot of people, or depending on what kind of photography you'll probably make more money, even if you're not good. Who you need to know. Okay, I do agree with that. Who you need to know and how many depends on what part of the industry you want a job in. I think the real job is networking and marketing and service, not photography, unfortunately. Being good at photography definitely helps, but it isn't enough, not enough on its own. Sorry if that huff was really loud. So I see what they're saying. And yes, there are some people who are not good who get booked out the wazoo. I think the people who have potential get booked out the wazoo. I think the people who are just don't have an eye for it. And I actually do believe that there are people who have an eye for it who will become great at it. And people who just don't have an eye for it. And I just believe that they're being in Facebook groups watching beginners. And there's just, I don't know, there's just something you can tell when somebody's got it and when somebody doesn't. And I mean, my first stuff was crap. Like, so bad. But I don't know. If you agree with me, comment down below because I agree with me. Of course, who you know. People are going to refer you. Word of mouth is such a big form of marketing. Be in places where people are going to talk about you. The more, I mean, psychology shows, I'm pulling out my master's degree in counseling here. Psychology shows that the more association you have with something, the more you're likely to like it. So posting your pictures, connecting with vendors, talking to them on Facebook, friending them. I've got several vendors I'm friends with who, you know, I've never worked with them a day in my life, but they have referred people to me because of our interactions on Facebook. I've probably never met them in person, but they're like, hey, Haley is so sweet, you should go work for her. I've done the same. So get people to like you, and hopefully you're a likable person anyways. But yeah, that's kind of my advice, and I could talk about this all day. I feel like at this point I could host a course on all of the advice I have, both wedding planning and being a photographer. I have been doing this since 2018. I started specializing in weddings in 2020. We're coming up on 5 years of me being a wedding photography specialist. Or specializing in wedding photography. But yeah, okay. I think I'm done for today's podcast. If you enjoyed this, or YouTube video, or whatever, I don't even know what I'm doing. But if you enjoyed this, comment. I want an emoji for you to comment down below. Comment a turkey emoji, because right now I'm recording this on November 1st, and so I'm really excited for turkey come the end of this month. So yeah, comment a turkey emoji below if you made it this far. Make sure to like, subscribe, you know, do all the things that every YouTuber tells you to do, or every person ever on any platform. Support me, basically. That's all I'm asking, because if you like this, you obviously want to see it more, so make sure you're aware. Alrighty, well, I've got other stuff to do today, so I'm going to go and be responsible and do that. Actually, I've got a photo shoot today, and I'm so excited for it. So, yeah, alrighty, I will see you. Well, I guess I won't really see you unless I know you. Then I will see you, but you will see me next time. Bye.